Hey guys, what's up? Son of Chelsea here, and yeah, this is kind of quite an impromptu kind of stream. Of course, I'm sure all of you watching will know that whenever you watch the Costa, of course, what happened on Tuesday, well, last night against Liverpool, the FA have come down on a charge with him. It isn't confirmed whether he's going to get the three match ban, but probably we'll find out by Thursday evening probably that he will get the three match ban and miss City. And yeah, also what we're going to be talking about is the clear campaign against Chelsea. Like when Jose said after the Southampton game, I thought it was all kind of mind games, but I think after the game last night, and you've seen the media today, it's just been absolutely ridiculous. I posted the video, kind of a compilation I did of all the tweets I've seen from Chelsea fans kind of reacting to this. And hopefully you can go and check it out. But yeah, of course, I've got some guests to talk about this who've been so good to come on. Firstly, I've got Max, who's on.
Yeah, good to be here. Obviously, it's a topic that we all feel quite strongly about because it tends to affect results. But yeah, it's good to be here as always.
And we've also got Scott, who's here.
Alright, yeah. Good to be here, and I'm here to rant.
Yeah. And Harry.
Yep. Hey guys, it's me. Welcome to
So really, I mean, when I heard I think everyone, I mean, none of us can sit here and go, we didn't expect the charge to happen. I think everyone knew. I think it was going to happen. I was pretty certain, considering the way the media came down on it. But firstly, I mean, what is your reaction to the charge? Now, I think all of us can kind of agree, and I don't want to come at this from an angle where I'm saying that Costa shouldn't have been charged at all, because of course stamping on someone's leg, as much as it's a Liverpool player and we want to see him do that, of course legally in the game he shouldn't be able to do that. My big problem, and I'm sure every Chelsea fan's problem is the hypocrisy of it, and just the stupidness of it, and the fact that Aguero, the likes of Aguero, Sterling, Yaya Toure, you know, the list goes on of players who are not Chelsea players who can do stuff like this and get away with it. So, firstly, I'll ask you, Scott, because you said you wanted to rant. Give me your reaction to it and reaction to the FA once again coming down on us. And yeah, go ahead.
Right, first of all, I can clearly understand why Costa has been given the match ban, because you can't just go stamping on people's legs, as you said, like we want to see it happen. And there's been so many incidents where players have just been like doing that outrageous stuff and the referee's not doing anything. For example, the Sterling punch, I think it was against Swansea. I think he punched Rangel or something right in front of the officials. It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything at all. It's not good enough. And there's no consistency in the decisions. I don't know if it's that there's different referees, they have different views on things. It's not good enough. There needs to be new officials. There needs to be something to help stop this from happening, because it's so annoying. And this could potentially, I think it was the Newcastle manager, can't remember his name, but he said that the referee decisions affects their jobs, affects their league position, affect their points, trophies, things like that. It's disgraceful, and it needs to change. It really needs to change. That's my thoughts on it.
I mean, I think I completely agree with you. I mean, I always have problems with refs. I tried to mention it in my review. I think the thing is with refs is it's kind of gone from this situation of I don't know, they feel like they have to do things in games and they feel like they are part of the spectacle. They are not. The referee in every other sport, tennis for instance, I'll use that as an example. You don't sit there and think the umpire's gonna he was the main point of the match. Like he was the one who changed the outcome of the match. Different circumstances, of course, but like in rugby, you don't think that. You know, these are officials who have technology, and it's been beaten to death, the technology argument. But the fact is, the referees are just not up to standard. They make common sense, and I hate this argument that, well, it's a tough job, you know, and that just sweeps it under the rug for me. Like you can't have referees. I have no problem. It's a tough. You can get the crowds and players crowding around. But when there are common sense decisions that referees have right in front of them, and they make the wrong decision. To me, that's just out of order. Like, and you have referees like Chris Foy, who for me is the worst. You have Mike Dean, who just and the worst thing is you hear that they don't get punished at all. They don't face any other actions. I'm kind of like going on referees, but the FA as like that's the one thing I'm gonna go to Max now about the FA and kind of like your feelings on their kind of bans and stuff, because it's been quite clear that it's with Chelsea there seems to be a different rule for Chelsea than there is for City, for instance. So give me your opinions on kind of like your feelings on the FA and what's wrong with them, basically.
Yeah, I don't understand how such a simple game like football can get so complicated by, I mean, like FIFA are just as bad. It's sort of like, how can they, the fact that there's such a strong justice system for players and teams and fans, like if fans shout something that is wrong, then they might get an away game ban, which happened to us in the 1977, I believe. Also, players, obviously, you got to say Suarez by someone. What, he had a 10-game ban. He also had a 3-month ban. It's sort of like there's a strong justice system for that teams as well. Sort of point deductions for financial fair play. However, with refs, there doesn't seem, with wrong decisions. Like, I don't know, you got Andre Mariner last season sending off the wrong player. That just makes the FA look stupid. I don't understand how there's no sort of justice system for referees like that. I think it just doesn't make much sense to me how they can sort of justify such strong punishments for players, fans, teams, but not sort of do anything for the rest. It sort of makes you think about whether there's a conspiracy theory behind it, or if it is purely accidental, or if that they are sticking with their refs, or you know, if there is something a little bit dodgy going on. So I don't know what you think about that. But
I mean, as I said right at the start, when Jose came out and said the campaign about Chelsea, I thought it was one of his old like mind game kind of things where he kind of goes off on like one, and it's a smart way of getting the attention away from maybe the problems that the team has. But I feel that it's come like so strong, like today especially, about the whole thing. I'll ask Harry, like, what did you think about the media response, and also Michael Oliver's performance yesterday? Like, because I thought his performance was just awful. I was at the game; it was just like awful. The Costa, of course, should have been sent off, as we know. He should have been given a penalty. Henderson should have been sent off. You know, Skirtle probably should have had action because he made a sign towards the fans. I mean, there was loads and loads of things that just were awful. And that, to be honest, like, it could have cost like both teams, and maybe Liverpool fans have a case to say, well, if Costa would have got sent off, we could have been in Wembley, and we could have said the same if it didn't go our way. So those kind of two things, the media and Michael Oliver's performance yesterday.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. Like with the media thing, I think that completely influenced the ban. If there was no, I know it should have been a ban and everything, but in the end of the day, the ref didn't actually give a red card in the game. So maybe that should have been the end of it, but I don't know. And obviously there's like the Aguero incident I think was last season? Yeah, where he obviously should have got banned. So I don't get what the justice is giving us the ban, and he doesn't get a ban any time during the season. They had like the whole time between now and then to still look at it, but I guess they closed the case. But it was a weird one for the ref yesterday, because usually the crowd influenced the ref, but it seemed to go against us out at home stadium. One of the big things of playing at home is the fact that we have the crowd behind us, and we can try and not purposely influence the ref, but obviously we can give our input on what we think, cheer and that. But it was really strange. Obviously there should have been like Costa. Yeah, I admit, obviously he should have been sent off, and that was a wrong decision. But the performance from the ref overall, like they should have had what, 3 red cards? I know Skirtle, Henderson, Lucas should have had like 10 yellow cards. Like I counted on my fingers how many yellows he should have had. So it was a very strange performance from the ref. Hopefully this doesn't happen again. But yeah, obviously the media completely change. They can easily just change the thoughts of the FA. I think that's one of the main reasons we always get like bad press from the FA because of like our players like John Terry. Obviously, he's quite popular in the headlines and stuff, or has been before. So yeah, a bit of a weird one.
I think, yeah, I mean, I agree with you like on most of the stuff you said. I mean, I think like with Costa, and it's like so obvious when the media have a bias. I mean, I despise Liverpool for many reasons. One of the main reasons I do not like them is because of the clear media bias towards them, and the fact that Jamie Redknapp can sit there on Sky, is paid to be who's supposed to be like, for instance, I'll say, like when I came on like to YouTube, my main goal was maybe getting into sports journalism. Like, I'll be straight with that right now. But I'm starting to doubt whether probably I'm going more down filmmaking. But in all seriousness, like, why would I want to be part of something like this where people get paid to be straight and be like neutral, when clearly it's just not neutral? Like, and I don't call myself the son of football. I call myself the son of Chelsea because I'm a Chelsea fan. So of course, as much as I maybe try not to be biased, there's always going to be that part of me. I'm being open and honest in my reviews. I'm saying that I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'm going to feel emotions towards Chelsea. I'm not sitting here and saying I that's why I don't review every game, because you know what I mean. So I just feel that when you have Jamie Redknapp on there, who's able to sit there, and did you see the thing, Costa, what was it called, Costa Crimes, you know, when they were talking about his fouls? I mean, like, what's going on there? Like, he's not, that's all one great tweet, he's not committed a crime on the pitch, you know, he hasn't, do you know what I mean?
If anything, biting someone's a crime. If anything, biting someone's a crime, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
That's exactly, and the fact is, I mean, Jamie Redknapp can't sit there, and I can't take him seriously, and that's why Jose, I love that he went after Jamie Redknapp in I think it was April, after he said the stuff against Sunderland. And the fact is, Jamie Redknapp, just to say about him, like, he contradicts himself, because I remember just in the summer, the tirade he went against us after we lost to Sunderland. I don't know if you remember, he said about us spending money. He has a big thing, some pundits do have a big thing about how money kind of influences things. He also criticised United spending loads of money and not doing well. So when Liverpool earlier on this season spent over probably 200 million in the summer, they're not challenging for the league. And what does Jamie Redknapp say? He doesn't criticise them at all. So that for me just sums it up. And also the problem is you have so many Liverpool pundits. That's what I call them. I call them Liverpool pundits, Liverpool spin doctors. It's like watching like politics, you know, someone going on there and trying to make everything seem perfect. That's what Jamie Carragher did. And walking home from the game with my dad, he was saying, well, you know, all the pundits are going to be saying, all the Liverpool pundits are going to be saying, well, you know, this was a great performance by Liverpool. You know, they didn't get through. They went toe to toe with Chelsea. You know, top of the table. But they can take the positives, rather than they spent 200 million in the summer. They couldn't beat them over two legs. They wasted like so many chances. Probably in the balance of play, Liverpool should have won last night. Sterling didn't put the chance away. Moreno didn't put the chance away. Balotelli came on, and Balotelli and Lambert were just complete failures when they come on. That wasn't the thing, like, you know, and then when it comes to Chelsea, it's a completely different story. So that's my massive problem with the media. It's like it seems to be one thing for Liverpool and another thing for the rest, basically. And that's kind of my beef with it. I don't want to go off on too much of a tirade. I want to keep it kind of straight on this, but like, I mean, the next thing we can kind of discuss is how big an impact, of course, losing Costa is, but like, I mean, do you think that like from now on, like, Costa's going to be constantly hit every time he does something bad? I want to ask you this question as well that came into my head. Might seem a bit ridiculous. If Steven Gerrard would have stamped on Costa's leg and Terry's leg last night, would there be a campaign this morning talking about how Steven Gerrard stamped on two people's legs, or would Jamie Redknapp and the media saying, well, he's not that type of player? So whoever wants to go first, you can kind of answer that question.
Who wants to go first? I'll go first then.
Go on, yeah.
I think Gerrard would just say, oh, Gerrard's not like that. He's not like that at all. No, he's just a one-off. And he'll just say it's all the hype of the game. Say, oh, it got too, you know, because the game was fast-paced, and they'll just say, oh, it's just one of those things. And they'll just say that he just got frustrated and things like that. And then Gerrard will probably put on Twitter, I apologise to the fans, mate, I didn't mean to let you down, all that bloody bollocks. He'll just do that. And then it'll blow over and Liverpool fans will go on Stevie G, go on, yeah, go on. Fucking, I hate Liverpool fans.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know, it could go two ways. Like, it could either be everybody, probably this wouldn't happen, but the worst possible scenario for him is the media do stamp down like they did against Costa, which I don't think they would. But just imagine they did. That'd probably be the end of his career, to be honest. Like he's at that age. He'll probably do what Scott said, like, oh, I apologise to the fans, you know, just like football, you know, and then stuff like that. But yeah, he'd definitely. I don't know. It's a tough one, but I doubt that would happen. I'd think, they'd just blow it off like it's a one-off. You'd probably max get not max as in you, maximum get a one game ban probably, just as if he got a red card. I don't know. It's a tough one, that.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to say anything on that, Max, about Steven Gerrard, if that was kind of the roles were reversed?
I think there would still be a ban for him. I don't think the media would take it as seriously as they did for Costa, because Costa's he's quite big in the media at the moment, because obviously he's on form. There's a whole sort of, people want to see a lot about him. So if he's doing controversial stuff with him being a top player, then the media are going to tag on to that, extend it, make it look bigger, a lot bigger than it is. And obviously, if the media make it a big deal, the FA are going to see it as a big deal. I think if Steven Gerrard was to do it, where there's not near as much attention on Steven Gerrard now as there is on Diego Costa at the moment, with the fact that Diego Costa is an informed player, and with the fact that he is quite rough. People do sort of look out for him doing that. So I don't think the FA would take it as seriously. I think he would still get a ban, but I don't think there would be as much of an uproar as there seems to be today about this whole Costa thing. So, but I was going to say, obviously we've spoken about him getting banned. I was going to say, how much do you think it'll impact our game against Man City if it does? If he does get banned, do you think that will sort of change the course of the game on how you were expecting it to go, or do you think we should still come out with a win?
I think it's of course losing Costa. He's an absolutely key player for us. He's as big of a player as Matic is, big of a player as Terry is. Although he didn't do much in the game at the Etihad, it's weird. Like, I still think we can beat City on Saturday, just because I think City have been bang average all season. They really have. I mean, there's been no point this season where they haven't. We've got to admit, they haven't reached the heights of what they did last year. They haven't been smashing teams like 4 or 5 every week. They were doing that last year. I feel they've been lucky in refereeing decisions. I feel Lampard and Aguero have pulled them out of a lot of situations. I think Southampton, the game where they won 3-0, was the first time I kind of went, okay, that's impressive. I feel we kind of let them back into the title race because of our slip in form over the Christmas period. I just feel that, like, of course Aguero will be there. It looks like, I think Ivory Coast just won, so it looked Toure and Boney won't be back for City. I think Toure is a key player. I'm not sure if that's like they were winning 1-0. So before I came on, they were winning 1-0, and I think Ivory Coast were playing. Does anyone know?
I'm just looking.
It's Cameroon, playing Cameroon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cameroon.
It does seem that Yaya Toure is actually injured, I think. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
Guardian says
they did 1-0, yeah.
Yeah.
So we know that, of course, they won't be playing on Saturday. I feel, of course, it's a massive loss, and I feel that, like everyone's kind of said, you put Remy in there. I feel Drogba can do a job. I just feel that Jose is very good in these big games. We freaking won against City with Torres up front, and Torres scored the winner last year. Like, let's not forget that. Like, and probably in a sense that City team was better than this City team. You know, like, so you got to look at it that way. I'm not saying it's like, I'm not saying, of course, if we had Costa, we probably could, and we haven't been clicking. Like, I don't, it sounds weird because our form recently been very up and down. We won 5-0 at Swansea, which is a crazy result. Didn't play that good against Liverpool, but then you take the 1-1 draw, consider it went through last night. Of course, the terrible game against Bradford, but then you could kind of rule that out because that isn't with the first squad. There was like 8 or 9 changes for that game. So it's weird. I feel if we click on Saturday, even without Costa, I feel that we could still do them. I feel if Hazard against like Zabaleta, he does him every time. Willian has to have a big game. I just feel we can grind the victory out, and that's, I feel as well, we need to avoid defeat on Saturday, of course, but at the same time, I mean, I think if we can avoid defeat, I think City have to win on Saturday. I think they do, because considering where they've got to go, like still to go in the season, they've got to go Liverpool, they've got to go United, and stuff. So I mean, I feel that yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I think he is a big loss. So really, I mean, the FA, I just feel that, I mean, it sounds ridiculous saying that they have a campaign against us. I just look at like facts, you know, the fact that we've had players banned for, and Jose has been banned for calling like a referee performance good, even though, as we all know, it is not meant. But even if he doesn't speak about referees, he still gets banned. You know, I saw a great tweet, FA putting the game into disrepute, which is really true. So how big of a problem do you think the FA has? Like, how big of a problem are they in terms of just their organisation? Apparently they want to send someone to deal with FIFA, how they're always blaming FIFA how corrupt they are, but really, let's be honest, the FA aren't any better, really. They're very corrupt themselves. We've seen the John Terry thing, which still gripes at me, the fact that John Terry went to the flipping, like, a call and was proven not guilty. And the FA go, well, we've got to ban him, because if we don't, we're like, let's go with an independent panel, and they banned him. So apparently now he's racist. So that's another discussion for another time. Of course, that's going to be split with people. I'm sure most Chelsea fans back Terry. But the fact is, I've always had this bitter taste in my mouth since then with the FA making bad decisions. You know, having to go at our players. You know, banning our players. For instance, all the times Rio Ferdinand going into the back of Torres in that FA Cup game, you know, Aguero stamping on people several times and not getting this, like, you know. So how big of a problem do you think the FA is? Like, what are the big problems that the FA need to fix, and what are, like, so I'll go to Scott first, and then we'll go Max, and then Harry. So what do you think are the biggest problems that the FA have?
I think it's just, I think it's because they look at players and they think, oh, he's got a bad reputation. Maybe what he did was intentional. You know what I mean? They probably look, for example, if Joey Barton was to go in 2-footed and start beating people up and stuff, he'd get banned straight away. Everybody hates Joey Barton. And then same with Diego Costa. He's known to be quite aggressive, and then he'll just get banned straight away. And then it's just seeing they only target the players that have a reputation of this. And I think what they need to do to improve is just, I don't know, just maybe get some new staff, some new people that are up for the job and are not complete and utter knobheads. You know what I mean? That are not biased. Just get some proper professional officials that are not biased, that will get the job done, because it's just becoming a joke now, and it could affect our title run. And as for the Diego Costa being out, I know I'm bringing it up again, but I think it's time for Remy to really prove a point, because every time he's come on, I think he's scored. So I think we will win with him starting. So it's time for Remy to really prove a point and tell Jose and tell us fans what we're missing.
Okay, Max.
Yeah, I don't think Remy will start. I think he'll probably start Drogba. He's shown that this season. I'd rather see Remy start, obviously. But yeah, about what the FA can change and how they should do it. I think, obviously, a lot of the football organisations now are very corrupt. Like I said earlier, I don't understand why they need to be like that for something that could easily be so simple. But I don't know, I think the only way to stop decisions like this from going wrong will probably be to put in sort of replays for referees and officials in the game. See, I don't know if you'd like to see that, or any people watching the video, comment if you'd like to see it. But maybe if, I don't know, say with the Costa stamp, some people think that might be in a red card. Instead of the ref just playing it out, he should get a replay, the officials should get a replay, sort of like what they do in rugby, so they can see, yes, it was a foul. Or with our penalty claim, yes, it was a penalty. Do you see what I mean? So I think that's the best way to stop it. So then there's no excuses for refs after the game, which leaves no excuses for fans to be annoyed and for sort of fines to happen. So I think that's the only way of changing it. I think there's always going to be corruption in football. I think there's always going to be corruption in everything. There's no way of changing that, because obviously for fans, we want to see good football and we want to see our team do well. For the FA, they want to make money. So we're not, as much as we're both chasing, the FA and fans are both involved in the same sport, and as much as they like to seem like they're for the fans, all they're for is the money. So if we're chasing one thing, they're chasing the other thing, and at the end of the day, who's going to win? The people that run the game of football or the fans? It's going to be the FA, because they're going to want to make the money.
And yeah, Harry.
Yeah, I was actually going to say exactly what Max said about the TMO, which is the TV, the TV replay ref, like in rugby, which would be amazing if we had that in football. Just think of all the circumstances that went against, well, any team. Just let's think. Hold on, the thing in the World Cup with Lampard all that time ago. Just any decision in general, like literally yesterday, you could say the Costa stamp. They would have been able to look at it again, and yeah, obviously we'd lose out with Costa getting a red card, but it just would have meant all this post-match rubbish that FA are involved in would just not be. Well, it wouldn't be around, But I'll go into the Man City thing as well. I think just quickly because everyone else did. Yeah, I think Costa won't be as big as a miss as someone like Fabregas would be if we lose him, because I think Remy can still do the job. I know Costa would be better than Remy, obviously, because he's a class better. I'd say that, but. Yeah, Remy would be brilliant on the counter. He's got way more pace than Diego. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Like TMO, Max pretty much said everything I was gonna say. So cheers for that, Betty.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like wrapping up, and as well with referees, kind of you can, like, I remember making a problem with English refs like video back in October, I think it was, after game of United, I believe, and I kind of talked about the problems then. And I could have made the next weekend a part 2. I could have made the next weekend a part 3, or you could make a video. I could make a video every weekend and look at every single game in the Premier League, and I could pinpoint an awful decision. You watch Match of the Day, every single game has at least one bad decision, and that is just awful. Like of course, you always want perfection, and you'd want a situation where every game is like brilliantly but even if you could have a situation where you have maybe one bad decision, but then you could see why it's not even like that. There are common sense errors that happen in each game, each week, over and over again, and it's not just costing like us. It's costing teams who are going to get who are in a relegation battle. Managers' jobs, and then that kind of connects with the media, because the media come down hard on managers. I love the way the media try and portray this image that they want to give managers time, but then again, they're the ones in the papers writing, pressuring managers and talking about, well, if this he's gone 2 games without winning, so do you know what I mean? So really, I think it's tough, and I believe that. It's tough to lose Costa. It's annoying. You want to throw stuff, you want to start punching people up. I wanted to come on here, and you want to kind of keep balanced about things and kind of keep. I just feel it gets to a point where it's just beyond just ridiculous, and certain people in the media especially need to look at themselves and think, am I doing my job? You know, am I stand like, and the problem is when you look at the, I don't know who it may have been, I don't know if you were the ones who put the one on Talk Chelsea, the one of the picture of like the Sky Sports app, and you got the news things and all of that, and like it was like Costa, and I switched on Sky Sports News HQ when I got home, and that's all they were talking about. Like, it wasn't the fact that we got through to Wembley. Like, funny enough, Ian Abraham, the Moose on Talk Sport, put out a brilliant tweet this morning. West Ham fan, he said, like, just in case you don't know from the back pages, there was actually a brilliant match last night, and Chelsea got through to a final. Like, I think, and that's the thing is like, we've kind of got to a stage now where we have completely forgotten about the fact that we're going to Wembley. Like, let's not forget about that. And that's what the FA have done in under 24 hours. Gone from, we've had one of the best experiences of the season, one of the best experiences I've ever had at Stamford Bridge, and you know, all of the euphoria from that and all the excitement and everything, to this where we're like, it's like what, like one way or the other with Chelsea and football and the FA. And I feel the FA, it's hard to ever see a situation where it's going to change, because there's clearly a bias in there towards Chelsea. I don't know why it is. I don't know why. I think like there were certain things. Just for instance, last night, I don't know if you, of course, like the Harry saying about money, but like as well, I also think that like last night there were situations people who weren't at the game wouldn't have known. Liverpool fans threw stuff onto the pitch, threw stuff at Costa onto the pitch. That wasn't reported about. Several things that were just like that were not talked about, kind of brushed under the carpet, and that's always the way it will be until something happens. So I want to thank Scott for coming on tonight. So wrap up, say about so thanks for coming on. Thanks Max for coming on.
No worries.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be on it.
And
first time on this channel, but yeah.
And thanks to Harry.
Yep. Cheers, bud, for having me.
I've also put a link to Max's channel and also Talk Chelsea's channel in the link below, so you can go subscribe to their channels. Yeah, probably the next video, I'm not entirely sure. I think it will probably be the preview for the game. I may make another video on this. Maybe more stuff will come out. But I know everyone's frustrations. We've been here before with the FA. But hopefully, spinning it on the positive, Jose can motivate the players just like it always is. Chelsea against the world. So hopefully, if it will make that victory on Saturday even more sweeter, especially after this. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you again.